on our last session, we were talking about some different things that God made, and we looked at a picture, and in that picture we saw some of this, which, can you see what this is, boys and girls? This is, what is it? That's right, it's water. Very good. All right, now, with Mama's permission or Daddy's permission, you can do it right now, or you can do it in a little bit, but I want you to spend some time just playing with some water, because that feels good. And Miss Corby has a cup here, and I'm just scooping some water out and pouring some water back in like that, and that can be fun to do. We can also put different things in the water to let it float, like my cup is floating a little bit. Yeah, we can do that. And we can also just play in the water, like just run our fingers through the water and let it flow down on our hands and just feel so good. But be sure and ask Mommy and Daddy first before you play in the water to make sure that you have permission to do that. But when we think about the water, what are some different types of water that you get to play in a lot, and maybe even every day? Does anybody have a pool at their house? Maybe you have a little pool, like a little pool, or maybe you have a really deep pool. But that can be fun, especially in the summertime. To play in the pool can be a lot of fun. But again, make sure you have Mommy or Daddy with you, or another adult. Do not go to that pool by yourself, because it could hurt you and it could be dangerous for you. So make sure you have a grown-up before you go to a pool. How about in the bathtub? Sometimes we get in the bathtub. And again, make sure you have a grown-up with you before you're in the bathtub, so you can be safe and be taken care of. But that can be a lot of fun, playing in the bathtub. If you have bubbles and toys to play with, and sometimes you even have things you can write on the wall with, and it's okay because it'll wash right off. So we can have a lot of fun in the bathtub. And of course, who's ever been thirsty and you drank some cold water and it was so good to your throat because you were so hot and so thirsty, and you drank some cold water? And so we can thank God for the water that He gives us, and how blessed we are to have the water that we need and the water to do the things that we need. And you know, last week again we talked about some different things having to do with God made me, and we looked at our picture. And so we'll take a minute to look at our picture again. Can you find that bird again this week? Or this session? Can you find that bird? How about the tree? Do you see the tree this time? It should be easy for you to find this time. You found it the first time. How about the little person? Do you see a little person? Yeah, and then there's a grown-up. And look at how happy all their faces are. They're all so happy to be together and to be outside, enjoying being outside and the things that God made and the things that God created. All right, how about the tree? So we've got a tree and a bird and some water and a big person and some little people. Yeah, and so God made all of that. And remember, God made everything. God made the cold water we drink. God made the big waves in the sea. God made the land that's all around us. God made all the people too. Big ones and little ones. People like me and people like you. God made us, and we are glad. So, like we talked about last session, ask Mommy or Daddy or another grown-up that you're with. Ask them, can they get out the Bible and can they turn to the book of Psalms and show you Psalm 95, and starting in verse 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Because that's where our little story we just talked about, that's where you can find that in the Bible. And then our special Bible thought that we're talking about, God made me. And remember, I told you that was written by a man named Job, who lived a very long time ago. He lived even before Jesus did. And so we read about him in the Old Testament of our Bible, the first part of our Bible. And the Lord was talking to Job, and He told Job this, and then Job said, God, you made me. God made me. And Job wrote that down in his book so that we would remember. And that is in the book of Job in chapter 33 and verse 4. And so you can look that up in your own Bible book. All right, so, and last time I asked you to go find a mirror, and we talked about things that were special about you, and we looked at your eyes. And so, what color are your pretty eyes again? And how about your nose? Can you touch your nose in the mirror? Can you see your nose in the mirror? And your pretty mouth? And how about your tongue? Can you see your own tongue in the mirror? Yeah, we can do fun things with the mirror, for sure. All right, we're going to sing our little song together and see if you can remember it. I have 2 eyes, I have 2 ears, I have 2 hands and feet, I have one mouth, 1 little nose, but oh so many fingers and toes. And I want you to wiggle your feet and wiggle your toes when we get to that part in the song. All right? I have 2 eyes, I have 2 ears, I have 2 hands and feet. I have 1 mouth, 1 little nose, but oh so many fingers and toes. Very good. All right, and then our other little poem that we did last week, God made. And this is talking about different things that God made on our bodies. So God made my ears, He made my nose, He made my fingers and my toes. Can you wiggle your toes? I'm wiggling mine even though you can't see them. God made my eyes. They both open wide. Can you open your eyes really wide? God made my mouth with my tongue inside. And there's your tongue. So I hope that you've had as much fun watching this as I have had doing it. And remember to, when you have permission from Mama and Daddy, to spend some time playing in some water. That can be so fun, especially on the hot days that we're having today. And maybe you can talk to somebody else in your family and tell them to look in the mirror and see what their eyes look like and what color their eyes are, or their hair, or where their ears are. And so they can look, and you can tell them that God made them too, and God made them special too. All right, so remember our special signs, okay? Jesus loves you, and Jesus loves me. And Miss Corby loves you too, and I hope to see you so soon in person.